In terms of self-esteem, the last thing you want to do is to hold a grudge. We hear people say, "Why didn't I say that? Here's what I should have said. I can't stand what she did to me. What he said about me is unacceptable." When we hold a grudge, we undermine our own self-esteem because we enslave ourselves to others. Some people against whom we hold a grudge aren't even aware that we're holding it, and consequently they can't free us. It's the last thing on their minds. They don't know we're their prisoner. And so when you hold a grudge, you become a slave to somebody who might not be aware that you need freeing and might be unable to free you anyway. Some people hold a grudge against folks they'll never see again. They've gone to another country. Some of them die. What do you do then? Holding a grudge against a dead person. You'll never be freed. You have to earn your own self-respect. And your own self-respect comes from these things: a sense of self, a perspective in your response, and resilience. So a sense of self is knowing who you are, what you're capable of, what you stand for, what your values are. Perspective in response means that when you deal with people, you do it proportionately. If somebody eats off your plate, you don't pull out a knife and stab them. If somebody in a movie theater takes out a phone, which is obnoxious, you don't get into a fist fight. People have been killed in movies for taking out their cell phone. They shouldn't take out their cell phone, but that's a disproportionate response. And there's finally resilience. You don't win them all. Some things are disappointments, some things are outright defeats, doesn't matter. So sense of self, perspective in response, and resilience. Now, if you have sense of self and perspective in response but no resilience, you're easily defeated. You can't bounce back. Every setback, every no, every refusal is a defeat. And so you're not able to bounce back at all. If you have sense of self and resilience but no perspective in response, you'll overreact. And overreaction is usually worse than the initial action that caused it. And these are the people who scream because someone broke into line. These are the people who make threatening comments when somebody mentions something at another table they hear and don't agree with politically. This is what happens with road rage. And finally, when you have perspective in response and resilience, but you don't have a sense of self, you have no destination. You don't know where you're headed. You don't know what would please you. You're just viscerally reacting. And too many people do. So esteem is about having a sense of who you are, knowing your direction, a proportionate response given the context, and resilience when things don't work out. If you can do that, you won't hold a grudge, and you won't be enslaved to other people. And therefore, you can live a free life.